In this video, before we get started with a small excerpt from the private mentorship, I want to run you through a little bit of an update about what Ment Funding has currently had in the case that you're looking to get funded anytime soon. So all you're going to do is you're going to click select plan. And again, I only advise you to go and try to do a plan or to get funded with any firm once you have solidified a strategy for yourself. And if you haven't yet, check out any of my free YouTube videos on YouTube already. If you're in the mentorship, you know exactly what you should be doing. Otherwise, make sure you take your time until you've developed an edge that you can actually utilize before going ahead and getting funded. So once we're here, you're on the evaluation page. You got your 2 million right here. You have the balance accounts that you're going to get, right? All that 1 to 10 leverage. We're going to talk about that in a second. It's one step, no time limit whatsoever. So let's say you just want to do 100K. You click your select MT4 or MT5. Let's go to the MT4. And what you're going to see here is a few options that you can click or you can select or deselect that give you a few upgrades based on the type of trader you might be. So if you're someone that needs that little bit of higher leverage and doesn't want to risk less, then you have this double leverage right here available to you, and the price will go up correspondingly, right? You'll have the no stop loss required for those of you that are interested in having an EA or have an EA that doesn't really require a stop loss like that, or if you just don't like placing one instantly and instead want to wait a little bit until you place it. On top of that, if you're someone that is a swing trader, we've become pretty much the #1 firm, at least from in my opinion, for swing traders. As we now have the holding over the weekend option, you add that on, and now you are a trader that can basically be a swing trader with Ment Funding. So without further ado, that's basically it. If you're interested in getting funded and you're interested in the one-step model, not the 2 steps that are available on other firms, then this is definitely the firm for you. Stay tuned with our updates. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We have a bunch of payout proof on there and some updates that we keep dropping. And without further ado, if you don't currently have a system or you're working on your system or working on an element of understanding, we are going to show you now an excerpt from our private webinars where we predicted this specific move completely, right? We spoke about it coming from here and delivering to this low. And as we did that, we also spoke about the intermediary structure right here, as you can see from this low to this high, and why we basically predicted this area to act as a very short mitigation to come hit a supply and keep going short, and exactly what supply we looked at, which indeed was this one right here. So you don't have to hear it from me. You're going to hear it from me a few weeks ago before this was all, before any of these moves happened. And you're going to see me basically outline all of this in our analysis. And you're going to see exactly what we do and how we do it every single week. And use this to basically create those rules for yourself, create that bias for yourself to then succeed in the future when you choose to go with either a large account that is your own or decide to go and pursue a funded account in the form of the 2-step models, which is not what I offer, or the link above, the Ment Funding model, which offers you a 1-step with no time limit. So EU, right? I'll do the same thing. I look at this, I don't really know where I am in an overall move. I can't base myself a bias. So at this point, this is when you'll see me go, I'll just go to a higher time frame, right? Weekly, whatever, sure. It doesn't really matter what time frame we go to. We just jump to a time frame. Weekly, what's it telling us, right? We had this move down. We just had this most recent breakdown here, right? So I'm looking at this break right here, coming from basically, as we all know, this MB or the refinement of that MB, which is this S&D zone right here, right? Failed to hold that S&D, but still holding the high, right? So we're failing to break through that high. So again, the overall bias is still bearish, just on this higher time. So in my mind, I'm already thinking probably more bearish, but we need to go check out what's going on, right? So what does this look like for me on a daily? This is when I'll jump down, right? I'll say, okay, that daily is still the same impulse down. This is still that MB, but now the refinement, right, makes sense to have it as this or as this wick. Okay, both are valid. So this is the same thing we did from the earlier from US30 basically. Now I'll jump around between time frames to see if I can find an unmitigated place here. Actually, this is unmitigated. Never mind. So this doesn't even matter to me that much because this is already unmitigated, right? You can see there's a tiny little gap there. So unmitigated, clearly unmitigated S&D. So that's the valid zone right there, or you could use it like that. Both are valid. Right, and what we're doing is we're failing to go above that and basically break and close above it or displace above it. So the bias is still to the bearish side, which means coming into the start of the week, all I'm looking for is a bearishness to there. Right, that's it. So, okay, now that we have that clearly assessed and this has gotten mitigated, and this has gotten mitigated and is moving short, right, I'm going to go and check out my other time frames to see what they're doing. That 8-hour, bullish, right? That bullishness is coming from in here. So it still makes sense to have at least an expectation to the downside, at least to here. So we still have a good amount of movement to have. Great. Let me look at a range that I can find within, right? We have this 4-hour range made from this low to this high. You can see this MB right here. We have the breakdowns inside of here of intermediate. So this means that already my brain is saying, okay, on a 1 hour or 2 hour, there's going to be some kind of breakdown in here that I can actually use. We'll look at that in a second, which means price still, even for the start of the week, has a reason to go bearish. Now, even if it comes here, right, and starts going bullish, I don't really care unless there's a really nice displacement, and then I'll look to enter off that to go long to the highs here, right, because these become equal highs. But until then, this is a bearish market for me still. So this zone is really not that important other than a target or an area to partial at, because it makes sense in regards to the overall structural delivery right here, right? It doesn't make sense for price to get here, for you to be in a sell, and then for it to do this and for you to lose. Because in reality, you know, this is clearly a move that's holding itself up. Now, let's jump down to that lower time frame and see what it is that I was gonna, you know, look at in here. And you can see we have this breakdown, right? Oops, you have this breakdown right here. Right, price comes and hits our S&D. I think this is what we spoke about at the start of the week last week, and if we said we should see some shorts from here, the shorts happen, comes to clear that high, becomes bullish, and then breaks back down to this MB and becomes bearish. So right now, the bearish side is being met with that higher time frame bearish, right? With the expectations on the low side to be bearish. And again, we don't need the zone because I'm still bearish and I don't really care for it unless I get those displacements that I see. So still, the bias is being created by one S&D, one target. Right, and now all I have to do is say, okay, start of the week, what makes sense to me? Well, clearly we have, you know, this MB that got, well, I mean, this whole thing, sorry, there we go. That whole MB getting validated by this move down here. Even though this one validated and made some kind of double MB here, right? We know this is a double MB on like a 40 minute, right? So we can go crazy like this if we want, right? In terms of actual like 20 minute, maybe 15 minute. Well, okay, maybe not, maybe none of them, because these are just wicks. I was looking for a candle, but again, there's some kind of time frame there that allows us to be a double MB, but I don't really care for that, because all I care is this MB created that move down, which means, again, off of an idea of refinement, you know, you could already be having this zone here and look for like a 2 hour or 4 hour CS entry or fractalized double MB off that area, because it's a larger area. It's probably going to be a 4 hour area, right? Like a 4 hour unrefined zone, yeah, something like that, or like a 6 hour unrefined, right? Something like that. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, I want to be doing what I'm doing and have targets on the top side too, starting the week. So for me, the zone is this one right here, right? So now we have a zone that comes in regards to where we are from a structural standpoint. And what I'll look for at the start of the week basically is either bullishness in the here and continuation down, or the start of the week continuing down first and then give me that bullish play into there from maybe that 4 hour zone. Right, but not using that 4 hour zone as a target for the top side, instead using it as a confluence of this move down here, right, and then continuing that move down. But overall, the bearish side is what I'd be looking for. Okay, hey, how's it going, guys? I hope you enjoyed that little excerpt about how we basically predicted this entire move on EU, just so you guys can understand as we move back to EU here. Here's that exact same zone, and here's the markup that we had, right? The move up into here, the continuation significantly lower, or the down move into the up move, and the continuation significantly lower. And as we zoom out, once again, you're going to see the same thing. Here's that 4 hour zone we spoke about that will act as a mini mitigation that should bring price back up to here and then go short. And here's that move right back in there. Here's that daily zone that we spoke about originally on the beginning of that webinar recording for just the specific EU section, right? By the way, some of the gray boxes, you should have read them if you saw them all. And the reason we had those is because there's a lot of concepts that are taught in the private mentorship that have not been taught on YouTube, so leaving it in there wouldn't really make much sense, and I don't want to create confusion, so, you know, utilize what I gave for free at least. And then we had that delivery that delivered right into here at the end of the week perfectly as per that daily delivery. And just to show you guys really quick, I'm going to move over my videos here. So these are just all the recordings that I usually make. Here's that 1 hour 49 minute recording that we had on, if you can see the date here, if it's HD enough for you, on February 13th, which as you can see was right around here, right? So price was here when we made that recording, right? So you know that that's when it was recorded. Again, I'm not here to prove myself, to show you that we did it before it happened. We did do it before it happened. We do this every single week. I post every single webinar in the mentorship every time we record one and then upload it, right? And we have one each Sunday. So if you want to be part of that group and surround yourself with people like that, like me, feel free to join up. Otherwise, I hope this free video helped you a lot. I hope you see how we create an overall bias and how these type of creations of outlooks and biases can act as a stepping stone in giving you the ability and the resources you basically need to go ahead and build out your own functioning system to use long term. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you saw the little gray box that told you to do a little something, leave that comment below, and I will be announcing the free mentorship giveaway winner for a month, hopefully in my next video. or in a video in the future, and I'll try to do it either at the start or the end of the video so you can catch it based on when I do it. Nonetheless, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.